And now once you know how the playback scale and playback repeat works, then you're pretty much halfway there. You can do a lot of stuff. Now I'm going to scroll up, and let's say I want my character to breathe a few times. And then I want my character to start walking from frame 80. First, what we can do is I want my breathing to start somewhere on frame 80, but not exactly on frame 80, maybe on frame 85. So I can scroll down, click on repeat, and then drag this on the left side. Again, if you want to drag on smaller increments, you can click on shift and then drag it with the mouse and then drag it on smaller increments, maybe somewhere over here on frame 85. Now, what I need to do is import a second action, and then I'm going to tell Blender that I need a second strip so that the character can breathe and then walk. So what I can do for that is hover over the NLA editor, make sure you have your strip selected. And once you have it selected, press on Shift A. And now once you press on Shift A, you can create a new strip. So in this case, I want my character to start walking. So click on walk. And now I just created a walk strip. But now if I go back, you can see nothing happens. Only my character's head is moving around, which looks weird. But now the problem is if I go back on frame 0, my character is not walking at all. The reason why it's not doing that is because of the blending and the extrapolation. So if I select my walk character and I go to extrapolation, it says hold. Basically, I'm telling Blender to hold whatever animation is before or after the walk. And then when the walk comes, only play the walk and hold everything else. But that's not what we want. Instead, we want to go to extrapolation, select hold, and then change this to nothing. We're going to tell Blender to do nothing about it. So again, if you notice, if I change this to nothing, those orange lines are going to disappear. And now if I go back, the character will breathe and then start walking, which is exactly what we want. Now I usually like to do the same thing for the breathing. I'm going to select breathing, click on hold, and then set this to nothing so that it holds no other animations. So now I have breathing and then I have walking. But the problem is that it jumps straight away from breathing to walking. There's no smooth transition. But in order to create smooth transitions, we can use the blend in option. So first I'm going to select my walk. I'm going to zoom in. And now what we can do is use the blend in and blend out option. So for example, let's say I hover over blend in. I can select this, drag this on the right side. And now you can see I have this white line created. This is basically the fade in and fade out effect in the video editor. So now if I play my animation, you can see the motion looks a lot smoother. Obviously, it's still sharp because I need to increase the blend in like this. And I also need to select the breathing animation. So if I want to create a smooth transition between walking and breathing, I can select breathing and then enable blend out and then drag it on the right side like this. Now, if I play my animation, you can see the transition is a lot smoother. If you want it to be even smoother, you can select the walk, move it back by pressing G. Basically, the same shortcuts work here. You can press on G, press on S to scale it up, scale it down, and then so on. So press on G, move it backwards, and then blend in even more. And we're going to get the smooth, nice looking transition. Now, what you can also do is instead of doing it manually, you can enable auto blend. So select walk, enable auto blend, then select the breathing and enable auto blend. And then Blender is going to automatically detect the blending areas and then it's going to be blended automatically. But I don't enable it that much. I usually like to do it manually by myself by blend in and blend out. But it's good to know that the option is there. Now, what you can do with the walk cycle is the same thing. You can go here under action clip, expand this as many times you want, repeat this as many times you want. You can also speed it up if you want to. So if I shrink it, it's going to be sped up. Or if I shrink it up, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be very slow. Now, another cool thing about the NLA, you can play the animation in reverse. So you can actually click here and under the playback, click on reversed. And now it's going to play the reversed animation. So it's going to reverse the walk cycle, which is pretty cool. And it's going to do the same thing with the other actions if you want to do that. So I'm going to disable this for now. And now I have my breathing animation. I have my walking animation. And now let's say after this step, I want my character to start walking in a weird way, which we created with the graph editor. So again, hover over the NLA editor, make sure you have the strip selected, press on Shift A, and then create walk 2. Now the problem with that, it's going to create the action strip on top, which is what we don't want because we already have a space here. So what I'm going to do is select the walk 2, press on G, and then move it down like this. And now I have it more neatly organized because I don't want to take too much space here. I want to use the lines which are free because this line was free and it doesn't make sense to move the animation up. So I'm going to take this and move it down. So again, I'm going to select this, set the extrapolation to nothing, then use the auto blend, or I can blend it manually like this. And now let's see what we get. We get first walk cycle, and then we get the second walk cycle. Now I think the transition is a bit too harsh. So again, go back, increase the blend in even more, Select this, increase the blend out even more like this. And then let's see what we get. Again, if I disable auto blend, I need to do it manually again. So if I disable auto blend, I need to do blend out manually here and then go back in the beginning and do blend in manually again. So let's watch our animation, see what we have. We have breathing, fast breathing, then character walking, then walking in a weird way. So again, if you don't like the transition, you can actually expand this even more. I'm going to select walk 2, expand the animation blend in even more, like this. Now I'm also going to take the first walk and then expand the repeat. So that's what I usually do. I like to blend in and blend out properly. So if you want to have smooth transition, make sure you play around and then see what you like. So let's say if I like this transition, now I'm going to select walk 2 and then repeat it twice, for example. Maybe repeat it 3 times and then make it a lot faster. So I'm going to type something like 0.7 and then make it very fast. And after here, I want the character to stop and then jump in place. So right here, again, we can hover over this, press on Shift A, and then create a jump in this case. Now it created it over here, which is what we don't want. So select jump, press on G, and then move it down. I usually like to hold G and then press on Control and then move it down to snap it in one place. Now again, I don't want this weird fast transition. So again, I'm going to select this, set the extrapolation to nothing. Then I'm going to do blend in here and then blend out here. And then let's see what we get. We get the character stopping and then jumping. So as you can see, in a few minutes, we created these smooth animations. We have breathing, we have the character walking, then we have the character walking in a weird way fast, and then we have a jumping animation, all with a few clicks.